Hi everyone, I'm Diksha Ahi. I'm so excited that I'm starting this YouTube channel today on the occasion of Teachers' Day. One of the reasons that I'm starting this channel is the kind of responses I've gotten from my children whom I've taught with respect to Teachers' Day wishes and celebrations and the kind of messages I've been receiving since morning. It's so overwhelming to see the kind of impact you can have on a child just through few messages that you pass down. So I thought, why not start a channel where I can actually reach more and more people, but it's not gonna be specific to children. This channel is open to any age group, literally. Primarily people who are above the age of 12. However, I am going to cover all sorts of topics about life in general, so you don't need to worry. You can drop in your suggestions in the chat box and I will try and create content around that particular topic. And if I'm not an expert in that topic, I'm going to definitely invite someone who is. I also, any which ways, I'm going to invite some of the influencers, people who can really motivate you, inspire you on this platform to share their life journey and lessons. And that's what primarily I'm also going to do. So, the topic for today. What topic am I going to cover today? I'm going to talk about my life experiences with my teachers, mentors, and inspirations. And as I start, I'm also going to thank two people who have inspired me to start this channel. One is Ankur Variku, who also said that there is no perfect day to start something you want to do. If you feel like doing it, just do it. So reading one of the quotes and one of the newsletters of his, I thought that I don't really need to wait or plan to start a YouTube channel. All the professional curation and editing and everything I'll definitely do, but I'll do it from my second video onwards. Maybe the first video can be raw and I will actually be out of my comfort zone, which is a lesson that almost all my teachers taught me to be able to do this. I honestly never thought I'd be doing this so early in life, and that I'm doing it now is because my teachers told me to push myself out of my comfort zone, and this being one of them. And the second person that I'm going to thank is Dr. Vani Sood. She is an educator. She's a teacher by profession and works with Vedantu, my colleague as well, and who has a massive following on YouTube. Children love her, and not just because of the way she teaches, of course she's an awesome teacher, but also because of the way she inspires children and the way she can connect with children even online. So that's amazing, and she once told me that maybe you should start a YouTube channel, and that stayed with me. So thank you, Vani ma'am, and thank you, Ankur Variku, for doing this to me. Coming back to the topic. So I'm going to talk about some of the life experiences I've had with my teachers and what they've taught me. At different stages of life, there were different people who've had great impact on me, and I consider all of them to be my teachers. Starting with my parents. So first I'm going to talk about my dad. I lost my dad when I was 10-year old, and it was extremely hard for us to go through that patch of not having him around while growing up. It's still hard, honestly. Sometimes I do miss him a lot, and I feel that maybe when he was around, things were different, and now had he been around, things would have been different. But I honestly try and get back to the reality and stay present, which is another lesson that I'm going to talk about next. So what did I learn from my father? I think most of you will believe that our parents are our first teachers, and I truly believe that. My parents taught me a lot of things. My father taught me the value of character, and the second thing that he used to focus a lot on was standing up for yourself. I've always seen him stand up for himself. Like anything that he considered was right, and not just because he thinks it is right, because he would analyze the situation and concluded for himself that this is right for me and this is my boundary, what we call today drawing boundaries. He would actually draw it at the right time, and he had a way of doing it which was polite, which was kind, and which would not hurt people. And that's a very powerful thing that I learned from him, and I try and implement it in my life. The second thing that I learned from him is the value of character. That has always stayed with me, and I wish I continue to uh, even inspire others to follow that path. Having the value of character is so important in life, and it allows you to be in peace with yourself. The second thing, uh, when I talk about values, I just want to focus that the values might differ for different people. So it's extremely important to define your own values. And once you've written it down, literally written it down, and even mentioned how does it look like in action, it'll be a breeze for you to follow it. So please try and write down your values, define it, and follow it. The second teacher is, of course, my mother. My mother is full of grit and resilience. It was extremely hard for us to go through that patch of my father dying, but I can't even imagine the pain that lady would have gone through. At the age of 32, she lost her husband with 3 kids left here, all by herself, and she had to do everything to nurture us in the best manner possible, and I believe that she's done that. I am so emotional about this entire bond that I'm hardly able to express it to her, but I hope through the medium of this video I'm able to share it with her also, that I admire the way she's brought us up, and I aspire to be at least half as good as she is. And even if I'm able to reach there, it'll be great. It'll be a great achievement for me. uh, the third teacher in my life was my social studies teacher named Rita. She called me up right after my father's death, and I remember she asked me to breathe. And that point of time, I didn't understand what the importance of breathing is and why it is important to be in present uh, with yourself. It really allows you to, in many ways, uh, you know, uh, just accept the reality, because that's the first step, and that doesn't come so easy. You're able to get over the reality, which can be extreme grief and loss, only once you've accepted it. Of course, there are stages before that also, which is grief and a lot of other stages, but just to be able to be present at least for some time during the day allows you to remember where you are and allows you to be grounded. And that is the value that she taught me. So the value of being present and being grounded. She called me after I went back to school and said that, Diksha, there are 2 ways that you can follow after this. Make your father's death an excuse, and for everything where you fall, you can always say that my father was not around and hence I didn't get it. And the second thing is that you say that, hey, I could do this and I did it because I really wanted to make my father proud. Uh, so, grief actually allows you, it is a very sad thing. It's absolutely nerve wracking, and it's very difficult to be in that stage. But once you're growing out of that stage, you actually grow. And that is the part that you can remember. You can rise again, because the death of a caregiver is intense. And if you're able to, in some ways, grieve it and move forward with the memories and making sure that you're going to make that person proud, it can be a great way to get over it. And I mean, you actually never get over the death of a caregiver, but you to get kind of to move forward with the loss. And second, to be able to do well, to be able to nurture yourself, to be able to grow, because whenever you're in pain, there is more space, more room for you to grow. The next teacher that I'm going to talk about is again a very important person who is actually my father's friend, and he inspired me and he taught me about relationships and money. I mean, both not related, not in a related way, but he taught me about both the things in the most lucid way possible. He's a great communicator. His name is Rohit, and he's always been around in some or the other ways to fill the gaps that we had. So a big thank you to him as well. The next person that I'm going to talk about is my favorite teacher of all times, Miss Komal Tyagi. She was my honors teacher in college, and she helped me feel at home uh, in a different city. It was extremely difficult for me to stay away from my mom when she was single handedly parenting my younger brother, who was really small back then. And it was very, very hard for her to, manage her work and him all together. And I was, in some ways, a support to her. So just going away and see her cry all the time was difficult, because initially she used to cry a lot, but later on, of course, like I said, that she had a lot of grit and resilience. She made peace with that as well, and in a very beautiful way. And she motivated me. She never told me that she was crying. I would get to know from other people, and that would really hurt me. So just ensuring that I do what I want to do without hurting anyone around me and hurting myself is something that I could do because of the support, the kindness she had as a teacher. She would even allow me to go to her home and study. So, what I learned from her is kindness, the kind teacher that you can be. The next set of teachers I would say that I had were my children that I taught at Teach for India. I always believe that you can learn a lot from children, and these children, particularly because they came from low income communities, and it was so hard for them to survive in like one room houses and with the kind of situations they had back at home, and still come up the next day at school with a smile. So that's something that will always stay with me. I believe that they taught me a lot of things, not just about how a human evolves. That's at a very psychological front that I learned from them, but also about the very basic values of life, the discipline in life, and the importance of it. I learned it from my children. Uh, the next teacher is my current mentor, uh, Mr. Rahul Kesar. Uh, he is an ex-army personnel, so there are a lot of things that I learned from him with respect to what he's gone through at wars and the kind of stories he has shared with me. But most importantly, the relationship between a mentor and a mentee. He has kept it so appropriate, I'd say, that my mentorship style today is highly influenced by him, and of course with added flavors of my own. I still believe that a lot of me that I am as a mentor is what I share with him. So he is he's someone who has taught me the value of uh, you know brevity, the value of influence that you can have on other people. And the last person that I want to talk about is my inner guide. Oh my god, she is amazing. I cannot take her name because without her permission, I would not do that. Um, she is someone who helped me connect with myself, and that's the beauty of it, right? She today I operate on my instincts and take informed decisions after spending some time with myself, and that's a skill. It comes over time. You have to do a lot of practices, and I'm still doing a lot of practices. I'm still learning a lot about life, a lot about meditation, the importance of being grounded, the importance of operating on your instincts from her. And she has done it through different methods. I spend a lot of time with her uh, whenever I have that patch in my life where I think I need to work on myself. And the value that she's taught me is the value of your own instincts. Uh, so I thank all the teachers that I've spoken about today in this 15-minute video, and I hope that all of these values are worth exploring for you too. So if you want to learn more about these values and these lessons that I've learned from my teachers, please feel free to drop a text on the chat box. And you can also share your life lessons on the chat box. That'd be super inspiring. I really want this channel to be two-way. So please do share your views on the video. Thank you.